On to Venezuela, where President Nicolas Maduro has raised the nation's minimum wage by 50%. The move comes at a time when the Venezuelan economy is battling a triple-figure inflation rate and it's drowning in an oversupply of oil. But while the third wage hike in a year may buy Maduro some support, opposition leaders say real economic progress would need a change in government. Jack Zohora reports.
Surrounded by government ministers, President Maduro delivered his response to soaring inflation, which has obliterated salaries across the country.
I have decided to increase the minimum wage and all salary brackets for public workers, those of the Bolivian armed forces, by 50% from September 1st on. A 50% increase for all workers in the country.
A 50% hike will take the monthly minimum wage to $2,200, up from $1,500. Supporters have applauded the move, but according to the IMF, inflation is expected to hit 480% this year, reaching 1,600% in 2017. And that means the increase will do little to strengthen already depleted spending power. Low oil prices have also left the country vulnerable, as it receives all of its foreign exchange income from the natural resource. Hovering around $47 a barrel, Venezuela has been pushing for exporters to restrict oil supply.
The wonderful energy minister Eulogio Del Pino and our foreign minister Delcy Rodriguez will tour various oil-producing countries, OPEC and non-OPEC.
But supporters of Venezuela's opposition parties say it's all too little too late. Maduro's popularity ratings are close to record lows, and the National Electoral Council has secured enough votes to advance another step closer towards a referendum that could see the end of Maduro's leadership. The opposition now needs the backing of at least 20% of the Venezuelan population. That's 4 million votes, and that's a tough feat. But with Venezuela's economy predicted to contract 10% this year, the biggest reduction in more than a decade, the change of leadership in Caracas is still a possibility. Jack Zohora, TRT World.
Earlier, I spoke to Diego Moya-Ocampos. He is a senior Latin American analyst at IHS, and I asked him if he thinks that President Maduro's decision to raise the minimum wage by 50% is delusional.
It's absolutely delusional, and it would do little to deal with the current economic and social crisis. If the salary increase is not accompanied by clear economic policies or with a clear and radical change of the direction of where the economy is going, and specifically lifting foreign exchange and price controls, this is going to do really, really little to bring back workers' purchasing capacity.
Now, the Maduro government says it inherited a failed economy to begin with, and they have also said that they're blaming the crisis on the United States as well as right-wing business owners. Do they have a point?
Absolutely not. This is a result of years of mismanagement, but of Maduro's ruling party, the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. First, during Hugo Chavez, late President Hugo Chavez time, and now under current Maduro, which is basically his appointed successor. We have to remember that Venezuela was already struggling with the economy when the oil price was over $100 per barrel. So I think there's not too much room to blame any other than Chavismo itself. We have to remember Chavismo has been in power 16 years, and that Nicolas Maduro himself has been a key part of that government.
Now, the difference is, of course, Hugo Chavez was a hugely popular president. President Maduro doesn't have anywhere near the support that Chavez has. Is he a desperate man now seeking desperate measures?
Absolutely. He's absolutely desperate. He does not have the same charisma that President Chavez had. He does not have the same leadership of the ruling party or the military that Chavez had. And certainly the weaker he becomes, the more influential the armed forces become behind the scenes. We saw President Maduro appointing the Ministry of Defense as the de facto head of government, someone to whom all cabinet ministers will have to report basically on the issue of food supplies, but in general terms over everything that the public administration does. And what we're seeing is that the more that the popularity of Nicolas Maduro erodes as a result of increasing crime, shortage of food, basic goods, and all the problems that Venezuela is being affected with, the more weaker his government becomes, and the more difficult it is for him to try to come back. Ironically, we're not seeing any signs of a change in the direction of the economy. What we're seeing is more regulations, more intervention, more government intervention in the economy, and no clear signs that the government is aiming to do something to ease the current price controls, which are severely affecting the economy and indeed pushing inflation and leading to the current severe shortages of food and basic goods that we're seeing.